Hotel houses. Well, I thought I might have to explain what they are, but it seems like everybody already knows what they are. Um, SKA has received many concerns about illegal rentals, but recently those concerns have all started to revolve around hotel houses, which are houses that have been built or renovated to have large numbers of bedrooms. Then they're advertised on Airbnb to sleep 12 to 20 people, and they rent illegally. That is, they rent for less than the 30-day minimum that's required in residential single family districts, or less than the 7-day minimum that's required in residential multifamily districts. The problems are just, they wreak havoc in neighborhoods. You may know of the recent problems that St. Armand's had, and they organized and they were successful in getting the city to change their rental regulations. We're hoping that this will give us some impetus to go to the county and take the information that we hope to gather and persuade the county to make similar changes to our rental regulations. I wanted to let Victoria speak about her experience with a hotel house next door to her. So I'd like to introduce Victoria and let her tell you a little bit about her experience.
Well, thank you, Joyce, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak about this briefly today. My name is Victoria, as Joyce introduced me, and I have lived on Siesta Key now for quite a few years. I actually grew up in Sarasota and have lived here since 1969, so you can imagine the changes I've seen. I currently live next to a home that you could describe as a hotel house. It is being run as a business with weekly turnover. They don't adhere to the 30-day rule. And this hotel is in a single family home residence. It's not even in the multifamily area of Siesta Key. The problems, I mean, you can imagine the partying, the noise levels are through the roof with the drinking, and they have, let's say, 14 or 15 beds they advertise online, and then they have multiple guests arrive, which why I was so happy to see that the city of Sarasota passed the ordinance with a cap on visitors, because that, if it doesn't have that, it's truly not, it's worthless. So we have trash, the same problem James mentioned with the parking. I can't wait to talk to you, James, after this meeting, because I know you're going through the same thing I am. And, you know, we recently had a rodent problem because they're not taking care of their garbage properly. So the problems go on and on when you have this intense problem in a single family home neighborhood. And this is our home. We are residents in Sarasota, and it's not a vacation for us, although every day in Siesta Key seems like a vacation. You definitely want to have peace and quiet sometimes, and they're partying, you know, trying to squeeze in as much as they can in the week that they have. This problem started in Anna Maria Island, and the developer that ruined Anna Maria Island moved on to St. Armand's in Lido Key. And as a result that of the passion of the president of the St. Armand's Association, he was able to, and of course I realize it's a smaller key, but he was able to get all the residents to put signage in front of their homes. And I'm sure you've seen it if you've been out to St. Armand's and Lido Key. And it took him a year and a half, but he got that ordinance passed a couple of nights ago, and my hat's off to him. But that same developer that moved on to Lido Key, he's got 40 plus houses on Siesta Key. And so far he's going pretty much unchecked. So I know this invasion of single family neighborhoods by these developers, greedy developers, is happening in front of our eyes. And my goal here today is to ask any of you that if you know of someone experiencing this, or you yourself are experiencing this, to please get in touch with the Siesta Key Association. We are gathering information right now to present to the county. And I just look forward to hearing from all of you through Joyce and seeing if there's anyone else going through the same problems I've been going through and that my neighbors on Lido Key and St. Armands and Anna Maria Island have suffered through. So I thank you, Joyce, and appreciate the time.
Hey, Joyce, could I give a solution?
I guess so, Mike.
Okay, our RSF homes need a registration process to accompany our existing ordinance. It's not hard, doesn't violate state. Okay, that probably mitigates 1,000 illegal rentals on Siesta Key. Number two, Anna Maria Island got sued with a Burt Harris Act because they said no more 4-bedroom homes. Well, if Anna Maria Island would have said you can build a new home and have one more than existing bedrooms than you bought and still rent it, they probably wouldn't have got hit with the Burt Harris lawsuit. Meaning, if they bought a 3-bedroom, they could build a 4-bedroom and still rent it. But if they build a 10-bedroom, they would lose their ability to rent. This stuff isn't hard. It's just we need to implement it.
Yes, Mike, I don't know if you're familiar with what the city put in their regulations. So what we're hoping to do, as Victoria said, is I'd like to hear from anyone who has experience or knows people that are having experience with these hotel houses. Just send me information at info@siestakey.association.com, and we're going to gather this data, put it together, and hopefully with the model of the city passing changes, hopefully we can go to the county and convince them to make changes. And Mike, you know, your input on what type changes you think are will solve the problem are certainly welcome.
The one more thing is density is a door, intensity is a bedroom. So when we limited our RMF density to 1 versus 2, that inadvertently caused more intensity because there's no other choice. 2 condos, far less intense than a 10-bedroom home. So we might consider tweaking SKA to allow for 2 condos again versus only one house. Just a thought.
Okay.
Just a suggestion for what you're putting together for the county. This is Maribel. I think it's helpful if the people could also attach any evidence of the problem. So if they have photos, like for example, of the rodents or the trash or, you know, anything else, I think that would be persuasive as well as the chart you're putting together.
And Maribel, can we recruit you to help on this project?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm thinking of in the old days when I did litigation and you put together affidavits, you know, if you attach the chart, you know, the Excel chart, and then you attach really powerful evidence of litter and rats and, you know, party evidence, and 3 a.m. you had to call the police, you know, like if we can
Right.
start gathering things from the sheriff's office, I think it'll be a lot more important than just what they consider whining, you know.
Exactly.
And, you know, and from everybody, and even affidavits, and, you know, I'm happy to give you the form of an affidavit of the declaration or something.
I've got video.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
Video.
anything like that, we can attach a fob, you know, a USB drive with video from everybody that puts it together. So it's something that looks official and thought out as opposed to whining.
And Jan, are you still there? Would you like to help?
I'm helping via one of the other people who is speaking, but yes,
Okay, great.
Anne is a great help to me. I thank her so much. I just want to mention that I have been complaining to the county for a while about this. And I have video evidence. I have, unfortunately, the rat that jumped on my husband's arm when he opened up the garbage.
Oh my God.
Photograph, yes. But we do have video of noise, and all of that has been submitted. I was told by the county that they need proof of leases, that
Right.
photo evidence.
There is no lease. I mean, they're
That's
idiots.
right.
I know.
I know that.
Joyce, you know, I have a lot of
Been there.
information on
on that.
James has a tremendous amount of information.
I can't wait to talk to you, Jim.
So
And
I've gone as far as hiring an attorney. It's gotten so bad. So I built my house on Siesta Key 2 years ago. I've been here for 6 years, moved from Chicago, built my house. And from day one, I didn't know that next door was a business, and it was a business from day one. He has 4 other homes that he rents like this. He's getting almost $8,000 a week. It was rented every week with a different group for 3 months through spring break.
Yeah,
He
I
made
mean, I think
a fortune. Susan Staley has been there, and she actually got a rental agreement from VRBO. She would approach. And so what he does is he tells them, he gives the people discounts and says, if anyone from the county shows up, tell them you're friends and family of us. And I've sat outside and listened to Susan go to the door and have them tell her they're friends and family. And then they go in the backyard and they joke about how he gave them $300 off of the rental for saying that. I have recordings, I have video, I have all these things. Well, the county finally had a case. They had a rental agreement. They subpoenaed me 3 times. And each time the owner his attorney would postpone.
Right.
So this has gone on for almost a year of subpoenas and waiting. And then finally, the last time I was supposed to appear in court, they said it'll be a slam dunk when the judge hears everything you're dealing with. And I get a call the day before to go to court, and they said, well, we made a settlement, so you don't have to come to court.
And what did they settle?
And I said, well, I'd like to know what the settlement was. The county attorney never returned any of my calls or my emails. I finally had to go all the way up to the very top and say, you guys owe me an explanation. You made an arrangement with him. And guess what? He's still renting weekly. We have a new group that's here. I called the week of Easter, called the commissioner, and now it's Charles who's in charge, because they would not allow Susan Staley, as part of the agreement, that she could not trespass on his property.
Wow.
So the county actually made a deal with him, removing Susan Staley so she cannot appear on their property, and another inspector can. And so I called the new inspector 3 times during Easter, no return phone calls, no anything. And surprisingly, guess when they called me? After the people had left, 4 days later.
Right.
Oh, well, we have to catch them in the act. So it was a game, and the county's to blame because I provided everything. And so I have an attorney, and the attorney basically said, if we can prove that the county has now violated their own rules because doing this deal. And Joyce, I sent you the court.
Yes, I have it now. Mhm.
And if you read through that, can you believe some of the stuff that the county made a deal with this guy?
No.
I haven't had time to read it, but
Wait till you read it, and it's public, so you can give it to anybody here. You cannot believe what the deal that they did behind closed doors. And I'm the one that lives here. I have 2 small children that go to school here. For Easter, they could not be in the backyard because of the swearing, the loud music. It was terrible. And you know what the answer was? We'll call the county every time for the noise or whatever. The county can come out.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to call the police every time. I live there. And I've talked to the owner. He could care less. He could care less.
But you know why? Because they're making the money and that's all they care about. They don't really want to enforce it.
Well, here's the funny part. He does it. He has it on 8 sites. He has it on VRBO and all these other sites, right? So I said to the county attorney, I said, so he has it on all these sites, but he doesn't have any rental records. He told you he doesn't have any rental records, and he
Right.
outright lied and said, I'm not
Right.
renting it.
Right.
They're all friends and family. I
Right.
said, well, I said, I'll tell you right now. I said, he has to be paying taxes then. If he's doing VRBO, he's paying taxes. So
Right.
go to the tax records, audit him, see if he's been paying the tax on,
Right.
right? They said
They don't carry the records. They don't do them individually. They just have a big number.
Yeah, VRBO
That's
sends
it.
one big block,
That's it.
right?
Yeah.
So they
But-
don't, in Key West, they always made you do it by house. So you had to do your individual tax statement by a house. The other problem is they don't know who's a homestead. There's some of these people are renting and they're not supposed to under homestead. They
Yeah, but
could-
you can
and-
go, that's a public record. You can go to the tax record.
That-
and
But
can
you
find out.
could, but the
Yeah.
county's the one that should be doing that.
Right,
That's
well,
the point.
right.
I've got too many of them to be doing that. They
But you
should be
could re-
doing.
You can
I-
report people for violating homestead.
Right, but and I can go check them all, but I
Doesn't do
started this in
anything.
2015 and stopped. So I just want you to know, I went in front of the county. I've been in the newspaper since 2015 on this. So been there, done that. I hear you.
Yeah. This
Hey,
is for the-
James, are you familiar with Air DNA? Air DNA?
I am not.
Okay, Air DNA, you can put in the VRBO number and it'll tell you every time it was rented and for how much it was rented for and for how long it was rented for. Basically, the program, my buddy developed it and sold it. It scrapes all the calendars. So
Really?
Air DNA is amazing. If you want to email me, I can send you all the contacts for it.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, and again,
Absolutely.
I've done everything right with the county, right? And this is 2 years now I've been going through this. And they assured me that they had him. They had a rental agreement. I just don't understand what happened because, and Susan Staley, if you guys know who she is,
Yes, lovely.
she is the most professional. I
Right.
mean, and you cannot believe the way that she's been treated through this, doing her job. It's unbelievable. And she's done everything right. I'm sure she is so beyond frustrated in doing the job that she does because it's almost thankless because nothing's being done. And then Charles, the new guy, said to me, they estimate there's almost 400 illegal rentals on Siesta Key going on right now weekly. 400.
Is his
Oh my
last
God.
name Tony, James, Charles?
This is the county. This is all county. This is
But
the
it's-
county.
But Charles's last name, is his last name Mangione?
It is.
Okay.
Marcioni.
Mangione, yeah, I've spoken to
Yeah.
him.
He's a supervisor, and then above him, there's 2 other people, and I had, he was very honest with me. He just said, I hate to say it, but they were very upset that the county attorney made a deal. They were very upset about that. They had no, they were not informed that the attorney was doing this. So the county attorney went ahead and made a deal. They had all this evidence that they were going to present. It never went in front of the judge. The county attorney made a decision behind closed doors, this deal with this guy.
So,
Is there any violation in him doing that?
I can't imagine there's not.
but I hope you all know that Al Mayo, and I hope this will not ruffle feathers here, but I found out he himself, who is the chairman, by the way, of the commissioners, owns vacation rentals.
They're lining their pockets. Come on, let's be real.
I mean, this
They're,
is
they're lining their own pockets. They're not going to make decisions that protect Siesta Key.
Okay.
They're
time.
not. That's why we really have to fight to be independent
Right.
and create our own government. This is nuts. My husband and I, James, we built a home here as well. We're from Chicago, James. We're
Okay.
relatively new residents. We feel the same way. It's disgusting what we're seeing.
it's real.
I hate
There's
to say this,
something
but we have
definitely
to
not
stand
right
up.
about what's going on in the government side of it. right?
Okay, I think we're running out of time here,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
please send your information.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and put this all together and try to convince the county to make changes to our rental regulations. I look forward
There's
to
a stopgap.
getting information from everybody.
Bob, did you want to add a quick
Bob?
comment?
Yeah, I mean, as a stopgap, why not just bypass the county and sue the organization directly? Subpoena from all of those, Airbnb, all the other home, TripAdvisor, all those different places, the rental records for these places,
But
consolidate that data and go directly after them.
You're saying sue all these
No,
homeowners?
don't sue them, sue the neighbor and subpoena from each of those organizations the rental records that relate to that property.
So I'll tell you real quick what I'm going to do. This is how bad it's gotten now. I'm actually having friends rent it for a week, right? And I'm paying for it. It's going to cost me probably $8,000. I'm going to rent it for a week. I'm going to collect every bit of rental record, conversation, everything with him. And then I'm going to the county with my attorney one last time. And if that does not do it, I'm going to the papers then, because this is absolute garbage.
Yeah. Go to the papers now, James. You shouldn't be going through this.
That's
Okay,
Okay.
guys,
I
time to
think
move
we're-
on.
Thank you.
Okay.